Well, hello everyone. Dan Hurd with Dan Hurd Prospecting here. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome. I hope to earn your subscription today. Back here on the Fraser River, finding gold today. My brand new claim that I tested a few videos back showed great gold. Today, I've brought the high banker, I've brought shovels, buckets, everything I need to see how much I can find. So wish me luck, and I hope you enjoy. Now, when I tested this claim for the first time, I just took 2 or 3 pans from right there and panned them out, and I found hundreds of specks of gold in each pan. Specks. They were small. There were a few bigger pieces, but there was a lot of gold right there. My plan today is to fill, starting with 4 full buckets. I'm gonna fill 4 buckets of material from here. I'm gonna take it to a place where I can legally high bank it. Right now, if I high banked here, the water would make it back to the muddy river, and you're not allowed to let your muddy water make it into the muddy river. Strange rule here in BC. Anyhow, I'm gonna take it back to a place over there that I can high bank with the water settling into the gravels, no problem. 4 buckets to start with. We'll see how hard the digging is and how hard it is to carry those back. If it's not too bad, I might do 4 more, or I might just stick with 4. 4 buckets happens to be almost exactly 1/10 of a yard of material. This will give me a great concept of how much gold is in 1 yard of this. How much money could you make if you did this for a full day? How many yards could you run? I will time myself, and how much gold do I get in 1/10 of a yard, or maybe even 1/5 of a yard? If I have enough energy for that. Calculate it all out, and I should have some numbers at the end here of how much you could make if you ran here for a full day. That's the idea, but also I just want to see how much gold I can get, because those gravels showed some pretty nice gold. And maybe along the way I'll point out some of the very, very cool rocks we find here on this stretch of the Fraser. There's some neat stuff here. Really hoping to find a piece of Chinese writing stone. This is where the best Chinese writing stone comes from. Anyhow, let's get digging. I'm trying to decide if I go back and get my classifier and classify into the buckets, or if I just dig the raw stuff into the buckets. Raw stuff into the buckets gives me better numbers, but means I have to carry a lot of rock. Okay, unclassified. Let's try that. Now we're starting our digging at 11:03, and let's see how long it's gonna take us. Well, there's 1 bucket full. And of course I'm filling the buckets right to the top because I have a long ways to go to carry these things. And I'm not smart enough to only go halfway and do it 2 trips. No, I gotta go all the way to the top and kill myself in the 1 trip. Well, it's gonna be 2 trips out. I'll take 2 buckets each trip out. Oh well, full buckets. And that would be 2 buckets full. Nice. It's very, very difficult digging. I'm scraping bedrock. Like, this is all bedrock down here, and of course the gold is sunk down until it's sitting on bedrock, so I'm scraping up the bedrock, breaking up the sort of chunks of loose stuff here, trying to get all the material that's down in between them, because that is where the best gold is going to be. But it's very time consuming trying to scrape the bedrock so nicely. Of course, fill it up more. Anyhow, on to bucket 3. And there's bucket 3 full. Not bad digging. It's taking me about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes per bucket to dig this stuff, making sure that I scrape the bedrock really well. And it's gonna be carrying out of here that takes a lot of time. I'm liking this. There's a bit of a bedrock trough right here of the sort of softer bedrock, so I can really scrape it well, heading right up behind that big rock. So water swirling over that rock would have created a low pressure zone behind it. Gold would fall out, lighter stuff washed away, and there's a little bit of a bedrock trough to catch the material. Nice. And cleaning out that trough makes bucket 4 full. 4 full buckets. Now to carry them back. And some people might be thinking, hey, if they're so heavy, why are you taking two at a time? Why not just take one? I find it a bit easier to balance myself if I just have one heavy thing on one side. I'm really pulling hard on my back one way. So I find a little bit more weight, well, a lot more weight, but balanced is easier than half the weight on one side. Oh, this old body's gonna be feeling that tomorrow. Ho, 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 ho. If you're wondering, I'm 50 going on 80. No, I'm 50 years old, and yeah, I'm gonna feel this tomorrow. My back's gonna be hurting, I think. All for the gold. And there's always people suggesting that a wheeled cart would be the way to go for me. I don't know of any kind of wheeled cart. Yes, I know I'm gonna get 1,000 suggestions right here, but I don't know of any kind of wheeled cart that can make it over these, around, and through these big boulders on such a steep slope in that soft sand. Yes, you can get things with big wheels. They're sort of meant for that, but not meant for that. That they can't do. Unfortunately, carrying seems to be the only way. You can leave all your suggestions you want here, but 100% of them in the past have been suggestions that wouldn't have been able to work in the situation I was in. A little bit at a time. Little bit of a break from carrying to look at pretty rocks. So far I haven't seen any of the Chinese writing stone. Downriver about 30 kilometers is my claim where I collect all of that from. And it does look like it's traveled a long way, so I assume it's washed through here. It is possible it's coming into the river somewhere between here and there, but maybe I'll find a piece here. That might be a piece of dark nephrite right there. I should dig it out and have a closer look at it. I'm gonna have to remember to come back with my shovel. My fingers aren't doing it. Now today, for prospecting these 4 buckets, I will be using the Gold Trek high banker from Crux Prospecting. It's just a little 6-inch high banker. 4 buckets will not take me long to go through, and I'll be discharging into this little trough on the back here, which will absorb our water, won't let it get back to the river. I could probably pan out 4 buckets in the time it's taken me to carry them back and also set up the high banker, but I wanted to use the high banker today, so hey, there we are. We're using it. A little bit of leveling work and I think we're ready to go. Looking good. There we go. Now we're good to go. Sunk into the sand a bit. Well, there's 1 bucket done. One more bucket to go. Just want to show you the tailings, the water soaking into the sand right there, and basically right there. So yeah, the sand is just taking the water as fast as I can pump at it. That keeps me legal here in British Columbia. I'm really hoping there's some gold in there. 1 more bucket. Alrighty then. 4 buckets took no time at all. I really hope there's gold in that box. I see a lot of black sand. I'll get the close-up on the black sands, but really hoping the gold. Alrighty, let's see what's in the box. Well, I'm seeing gold off in the corners. There is gold in the box, but there's also a lot of black sand. So I'm gonna be panning for a while, I think, to figure out what I've actually got here. There is gold. Is there a lot of gold? Is that yellow rock a gold? A gold? I think it's just yellow rock. Yes, yellow rock. That's gonna be a pan full of black sand, that is for sure. I can't believe the amount of black sand. Even where the high banker was discharging, I see these lines of black going off in every direction. That material was loaded in black sand. Black sand is heavy, just like gold. Let's hope it was loaded in gold as well. Time to clean her out. Cleaning out this high banker is dead simple. So easy. That's it. There are 4 of those. You just pop them out in the pan, give it a shake. Make sure you got everything out of it, nice and clean. And of course the top one in any high banker is where 90% of your gold should be. 90% should be in that mat right there. 1 ounce. Okay, put the pan underneath the end. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. A little bit of water. Rinse her down. All cleaned up. That's simple. And check out this agate I pulled out of the rocks falling off the grizzly. Almost carnelian. I'd say that is carnelian. That's a nice agate. If you're wondering what I do with all these agates that I find all along the way, I make these agate grab bags I sell on my website, www.danhurdprospecting.com, and this agate will just go into one of the grab bags. They're perfect little Christmas presents. I think this video is probably coming out just before Christmas. Oh yeah. www.danhurdprospecting.com. All sorts of gold and minerals and rocks and everything for sale on there. Oops, I stopped and had some lunch, but I forgot to check the time. It's now 1 o'clock, so I've been stopped for about half an hour. I'm gonna say it was probably 12:30 when I finished my high banker run. What was it when I started? 11? 11 to 12:30? Hour and a half. We're gonna go with an hour and a half of running time to do my calculations. I'm not going to include the cleanup time because if you were actually running for a full day, you'd be cleaning up once at the end of the day, or you'd be keeping all your cons for the end of the week or whatever. I won't calculate the cleanup time, but I will calculate the dig, the carry, and the high banker time into figuring out how much I'm making here. So, time to put some boots on, get down there, there's a sitting rock, and pan that out. Absolutely love the Fraser River. Yeah. Okay, found myself a sitting rock, found myself a place to pan. Let's pan this out. Hopefully there's enough room here. It's a little awkward. Anywhere you stand just off this edge could be 5 feet deep, could be 10 feet deep. This sand, see the cliff it makes there? It makes those cliffs underwater as well. So you have to be very careful where you go into the water. Here we are. This place is, you know, that deep. It's a foot deep. Really take my time with this because this is ultra fine gold at this site. Really stratify it, gentle stratifying so it sinks down nicely. And then, let's see if I can get better light on it. There we go. Then wash the mud away. Gently wash the mud, take some of those light rocks on top, that broken up bedrock. Stratify again, then wash away that lightest stuff. You can see the black sands are already coming out. This pan is going to be mostly black sand. And I see gold already in the back corners. Whoa, there might be a lot of it in here. Let's hope. Might have to take these cons home and clean them up properly at home as well, because I'll probably get a good look here on the river, but to get them cleaned enough to weigh them, probably take them home to do that. Get a magnet in there, get rid of some of the black sands that the magnet will pull out. Black sands being mostly magnetite, magnetic. A magnet will pull it out. If you do it carefully and correctly, you don't lose gold. Seen lots of gold washing out in the back corner. Actually not as much black sand as I thought there would be. That sluice looked to be full. Okay, yes, I will have to take this home and clean it up properly. It'll be hours here on the river doing it. Let me just get all the gold tapped in one spot so you can see it here in the river, and then we'll take it home and do it properly. There's a lot. There's a lot. It's a lot of fine stuff. I'm not even tapping it all up. It's all through this back here. Let's just get a little bit in one spot so you can see. Then I'll do it properly. Oh, it's everywhere. Well, this is difficult. The way I've got it going right now, there's not even a hope of me getting half the gold into one spot to show you. There is stars in the night. There's so much gold in there. There's speckles everywhere. I will get the close-up on it here a little bit, and then, as I said, I'll take this home and do it right. So there is one picker in here. I was hoping for more considering I was working bedrock, but there's just gold everywhere. Insane amounts. Unbelievably fine stuff. Piles and piles and piles of powder gold. As Chris would say, mustard gold. But it is everywhere through this black sand. Anywhere I put the camera down, it's gonna see piles and piles of gold. Even back at the back where there's not supposed to be any, there's gold flakes everywhere. This will be interesting. It's very fine. I doubt this is going to add up to too much, but it'll be interesting. There was definitely that one picker. Gold, baby. Gold. Hey, look who was here. That's the big bear tracks. Mama bear was down here. Absolutely love BC weather. It's October 6th today. Yesterday I was snowed out of one site and I was up prospecting in the frozen snow of another site. Today I'm here on the Fraser River in my t-shirt. BC weather, gotta love it. Okay, we're at home. Let's get this gold all cleaned up. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dump it all out into this glass bowl. And then I'm going to use a magnet to separate off the magnetic black sands. Now, if you'd like to learn more about how I use one of these plunge magnets to get the black sand out without getting gold with it, right now there will be gold in there. If you'd like to learn how I do that, go back on my channel, do a search for using magnets to recover gold, and you'll find 3 or 4 different videos of different ways that you can actually take the black sand out of your concentrates without losing gold. Today I'm just doing it. And I'm not going to explain what I'm doing or why. If you want to see all that, go back and check out that other video. Alright, the magnetic black sands, the magnetite, have been removed. My safety bowl shows 1 flake of gold in there, so very, very little. And then that should just be pure black sand in there. Don't have to worry about that at all. We'll dump the safety back into the regular material, because there was 1 flake of gold that made it through. And then let's pan that out. Removing the black sands from the concentrates saves me about 50% of the cleanup time. I know the way I've done it that I'm very, very certain there's no gold in that black sand. If you just take a magnet and plunge it in and try to take the magnets out that way, you will grab gold with it. My little method between the two, I am positive, I am very, very positive I did not lose much, if any, gold. And if anyone's interested, what do I have on my processing table right now? I've got a gold pan, I've got my concentrates, I've got a pile of large, perfectly formed garnets. I've got some opal, yes, some precious opal here, more precious opal over there, and some ocean picture stone. A little bit of everything out on my deck here today. Okay, concentrates in the little pan. I will be panning in a pan today. Make sure that gets completely washed out in there. No gold left in the bottom. Oh my goodness, it's just yellow, the bottom of this bowl. right, let's see what I can do. This will be a very long process. Very fine gold, very heavy black sands. Even with all the magnetite gone, this is going to take me a long time. You don't want to watch it all. Maybe I'll throw it on time lapse. I'm just about to lose the battery on my GoPro here. This has to be one of the longest cleanup pans I have ever done. I've had to move the whole table 2 or 3 times just to keep it in the sunlight, and well, the sun's going behind the tree now. I can't move it any farther. Anyhow, I'm gonna go charge my GoPro while I finish this off. This is ridiculous how slow and tedious this is, because of how fine and flat the gold is with those heavy, heavy black sands. This is the toughest cleanup I think I've ever done. Anyhow, let's go charge this GoPro so I can show you the results when I'm done in 20 hours. I think that's done. Let's get that dried out. The tiny, tiny bit of black sand there left. Maybe I'll get that away. Okay, I'll get that out of here and we'll get it dried up. Well, there, it's all in the stainless steel measuring cup, ready to throw in the stove and dry out. Yes, it's underwater right now. I'm not going to lie to you and say that I got it all in there. I saw pieces fall out. I probably saw maybe 6-10 pieces go over the edge of my pan and are now down there in the black sands. So definitely didn't do a perfect job, but I'd say I got 99.9% of it in there. Now, let me know in the comments below what you think I should do with this. Whether I should take this black sand here, package it all up and send it off to Jason from Mount Baker Mining and Metals and have him smelt it to see what I lost. Maybe I should pour my gold back into the black sand and make one pay dirt bag and auction that off to one of the viewers. Maybe even just take the tailings and make a pay dirt bag of that and auction that off for one of my viewers and see what they can find that I lost. Let me know in the comments below which of those 3 options you would like to see. And in the first day of this video release, whatever is the most common request, I am going to do that. There's my friendly little garnet. Okay, all dried out. There are 2 pieces in there that I'm pretty sure are gold sponge, which is when gold gets dissolved in mercury by old-time miners and then dropped back in the river. Certain situations, the gold and mercury amalgam can have the mercury vaporize off. The hot weather can actually vaporize the mercury, leaving this little ball of gold sponge. And I believe that's what we're seeing right there. I'll have a close-up of that once I get this all weighed up. And an hour and a half on the claim comes out to a whopping 0.408 grams. Not too bad for an hour and a half. I'm actually a little bit surprised I got that much for such a quick run. Let's do some math. We're going to take the hour and a half, divide it by 1.5 to figure out how much I get per hour. Then we'll multiply it by 8 to see how much I'd get in an 8-hour day. And that would come out to 2.175 grams for an 8-hour run on that claim, which is just over $200, about $230 Canadian, of course, in gold for an 8-hour run. Not a great working wage, but for some, that might be acceptable. And of course, the standard disclaimer when you're calculating how much gold you'd make in a certain amount of time. No, that's not calculating in travel time, cleanup time, setup time, takedown time, how much it costs to buy the claim, fuel, all of those things. No, that is just a straight feeding the sluice. How much would you get in an 8-hour run? Beautiful Fraser River gold. Now let's take a couple of these pieces of what I think might be gold sponge, throw it in the microscope for a second, and see if they actually are. All right, under the microscope, this definitely is a piece of mercury sponge. You can see the mercury is still coating the flakes and gluing them all together. So yes, those are some real weird balls of mercury and gold mixed together. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. And double check that you are still subscribed. YouTube has been unsubscribing people without them knowing about it. If you want to be subscribed to the channel and get notifications every time I put out a new video, check below that you're still subscribed. Hope you're all having a great day. And until the next one, bye!